bit of time out of your day to come here and talk about these very vital issues that are affecting Tennessee right now as a whole, mainly the men's athletic department, and how these recent issues such as our basketball coach being fired and Lane Kiffin leaving and all these violations that we've had. I was just saying it's getting us away from our values and morals as a UT, University of the United States. So as I was saying, our main goal here is to get back on track, to bring UT back to the university that it once was, because these recent events have tarnished UT's values and morals. So I'm here today, open up a discussion to think of possible alternatives to get us back again to our level of excellence in athleticism and education that we once had.
Well, it's my opinion that the issues we're facing has a lot to do with the current athletic director, Mike Hamilton. A lot of the issues have taken place during his term over the past 8 years, and we've had issues with coaches. We saw the leaving of Fulmer. He brought in Kiffin. Kiffin stuck around for a year. He should have had some sort of insight as to that being a possibility when he brought Kiffin in. We've also just had Bruce Pearl fired, which is a huge loss for the basketball program here at the university. So I believe Hamilton definitely needs to be removed from his office. We can bring in an interim from within the department, possibly David Blackburn, while we start a search for a candidate to fill his role. That's what I think.
I personally agree with him, except I do differ a little bit on your opinion. I think we should immediately fire Mike Hamilton and hire someone from the outside. I don't feel like an interim is going to be good for us. As we've seen with the football, we kind of brought an interim in there, and I believe that we just need to commence a search immediately for a good person that we can bring in. I don't believe that our athletes can handle so many changes. I feel like our athletes need some stability here, and kind of switching the roles around is not going to give that to them. So I feel like we really just need to find one person that can come in and take over Mike's job.
Whoa, guys, slow down. I know Mike Hamilton has his pluses and minuses, but over the years he's been a pretty good guy. And I think that if we frame the problem like this, we're not going to be able to get to the best solution we can. It might not be Mike Hamilton exactly, that's the problem. Let's just kind of step back and see what else we can come up with.
I agree with Mr. Haslam. However, I do feel that we should keep Mike Hamilton. He's done great things with our men's athletic department over the 8-year term that he's so far been here. And not only that, but he cooperates very well with us on the women's side. And I really feel that that's benefited our program. Obviously, you know, we get a lot of funding from football, so it's in my best interest as the women's athletic director to ensure that the men's department is functioning well. And I just feel, on behalf of the athletes that, bringing in a change at the very top, that's going to trickle down, and, that might hurt them more than it would be if we just stick with Mike Hamilton and, maybe just give him a little bit more guidance here or there.
Yes. I just want to let you all know that y'all brought up some very good alternatives and that I value your opinions. But just to make sure that we're all on the same page here, let's maybe go a little around the table and see what some of your objectives are for the future of our men's athletic department.
All right, some of the objectives that I'd like to accomplish are, I want to have some talented coaches that are ethical. And I want to be able to excite the fan base and at the same time manage their players, because I really don't like waking up Sunday morning and reading about our players, what they're doing at the bars at night.
I agree. Again, I feel like we need to regain our position in the media. Recently our image is being tarnished, and it's affecting the whole of the university. And I've certainly felt the impact on the women's department, albeit we haven't, done anything wrong. I also, I want to have someone at the top, leading the men's athletic department that I can cooperate with well. Obviously, being the women's athletic department director, it's important that I can get along well. And obviously, Mike Hamilton and I have created a really good working relationship. I think it's important that the men's department gets back to their winning ways. Obviously, the last national championship the football program won was in 1998, so it's been a while. Obviously, women's basketball have won 8 national championships. And so, the men have some catching up to do, so I think that that's important that they reestablish their position there. And not only that, but our athletes, our student athletes, are our #1 priority, and it's important that they feel secure with who it is that's leading their coaches and directing their coaches, so that they're, we're not in trouble of losing any recruits, because obviously with the recent incidents we have unfortunately lost some very, very talented recruits.
Well, something that I believe fans and alumni would like to see is a return to the prestige and the character we saw in our football program in the 90s, especially with the 98 championship team. That's definitely something that we want to see the football program strive to get back to, and I believe we're going to need new leadership to do that. As far as basketball goes, we've seen outstanding growth in the basketball program ever since Bruce Pearl stepped in. And Bruce Pearl was very outgoing. He was able to excite the fan base, and it's going to be very hard to bring in a coach who's going to be able to do that to the extent that Bruce Pearl has done over the past couple of years. I believe that we also need to see strong competition in both programs towards national championships, something that we haven't seen in the men's athletic department for several years. We saw that Joan just mentioned that as well. That's definitely something that we need to see happen, and once again, new leadership is what it's going to take for this to happen.
I do agree with all of his objectives. As a coach myself, the director is really an important part in picking the coaches. I myself worked very well with Bruce Pearl. We got along, and I feel like he did bring a competitive aspect to the men's basketball. Some of the important things I think for us to consider is definitely getting back on top in the SEC, getting to the national championships. These things are all really important to the men's department, and I feel like we really need someone that can bring that competitive aspect. Also, as a coach, I worry about my players, and I think the stability of our athletes is something that we really need to be concerned with. We need to make sure that, like Joan said, our recruits are staying with us and that our athletes are continuing to stay happy. I agree with Mr. Haslam in the fact that we don't want to see our players out at the bars at night, and I really feel like if we bring in someone that's trustworthy, that can take care of our players, we're not going to be seeing things like that.
I'm very glad to see that all of our objectives are on the same page regarding our objectives towards the men's athletic department. But now I would further like to discuss possible alternatives for reaching these goals.
All right, my suggestion is that we keep Mike Hamilton. But we need to institute some new policies to help better govern our coaches and our athletes. Now, back when I was president of Pilot, I had a situation that was pretty similar to this. We had a guy who made a really bad mistake, a big mistake, cost us $750,000, and he came to me and he tried to resign, and I said, Tommy, I'm not going to let you resign. The way I see this is we just spent over $500,000 training you, and it would be very foolish to let you go, as long as you've learned from this. If you learn from this, you can stay. The way I see all this is that we spent a lot of money training Hamilton, and I think he has learned from this. I don't think it's going to happen again. I think he's going to be a better athletic director for it. Now, Hamilton has performed well in every other criteria, be it the number of fans that are attending, the income, everything else. He's doing great in. It's just the coaches we're having problems with. If we come up with a great way to keep track of our coaches and athletes' behavior, I think that's going to be the golden ticket for us. I think it's a great strategy for the short term because we don't have a whole new person coming in to learn the reins, and it's going to be good in the long term. It's going to protect our reputation.
I agree with Mr. Haslam. We've invested so much money into Mike Hamilton that it would be a shame just to, fire him now just because a few bad incidences have occurred here at Tennessee over the past year and a half. I know Mike personally, given our close working relationship, and he and his family, they're a great Christian family, and I think that he has a very positive impact on this department, and it would be a shame just only to look at the negative. It's important that our two departments work alongside each other positively, and that has been occurring with Mike under, in control of the men's athletic department. So I really feel that keeping Mike is the most important thing here for us, and that it will, take us back to winning ways. And I agree with Mr. Haslam that, maybe implementing some policies regarding coaches would be a positive step to helping that happen.
As far as I'm concerned, playing an intense team sport, I know that dissension can have a serious impact on performance. I feel that at this time there's a lot of ill will amongst the athletes as well as lower level staffing with the coaches and trainers towards Mike Hamilton. That we're just not going to see a solid team effort, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, anything, that's going to increase the prestige of the school. I believe that at this point we need something to bring this athletic program back together, and Mike Hamilton, I believe at this point, is just pulling it apart.
Yes.
Peyton, I agree with you. I feel like we need to have an immediate replacement of Mike Hamilton. I feel like we need to find someone that has had no previous association with the university at all. We need a fresh start. Someone that's young, that's enthusiastic about college sports. Someone hopefully that, you know, can really embrace what the South stands for, what the University of Tennessee stands for. I feel like a coach is definitely a direct, you know, representation of the school here, and we need someone that can confidently choose coaches that are going to fit in here and be well respected. I feel like we should also find someone that has a good track record as far as sports goes, a lot of wins. I think that's one of the most important things here. And possibly, you know, someone that can add some structure, maybe a military background or something like that.
Well, I really enjoyed all your opinions and your possible alternatives. I just want to thank you all for your time today. I feel that each one of y'all presented some very good cases and opinions for what I should do. I'll take everyone's opinion into consideration, and I'll get back to you. And I'll get back to you all within the week with my final decision. Now you all get home to your families and have a good day. America.